canal.
Oh, okay.
down the bottom of the hill.
Yeah. And then across the street there was a Sammy,
Fellman.
fella had a dry goods store.
Right,
He came around here.
right.
Yeah, you used to come
Selling
on
things.
04.
She wouldn't remember this, You're the youngest of the, no, Terry's the younger than you,
Terry's,
right?
yeah, I remember the Feldmans,
Do you?
yes.
Oh, you
But I
do?
think they were, I don't know, I think they were in chicken business or something. Egg, used to
He
sell
was,
eggs.
yes, Mortimer sold eggs.
That's what I remember.
Yeah, that was his son.
Right, right.
Princeton graduate selling eggs. I guess he did very well. Well, I remember an airplane hangar and an airfield here in Kingston.
Where was that?
Yeah, did everybody tell you
Anybody
about
tell you
that?
about the
No,
airplane?
No.
no.
Oh,
Right
yeah.
at the end of Raymond Road and
No, it was over where, Raymond Road up, where Plentiful Acres is.
Uh-huh.
That's where the hangar was, and they had the field towards New Brunswick. And it was a big thing for a Sunday afternoon. It's funny you don't remember it, not you, but older than. The big thing was watching a guy jump out of an airplane in a parachute. That was a big thing around
Do you
here.
remember any local names that did that?
Yeah, you know who had a plane there was, who did Betty Lester marry? Reedner.
Reedner?
Walt Reedner.
He learned to fly and everything, and he crashed. And whoever was with him got killed. And they crashed up by that corner, by Raven Road and Route 27.
In the old peach factory, did they ever make airplane propellers or something? Because there was a propeller.
They made airplanes up here somewhere, didn't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
up in Johnny B. Brown.
Huh?
Johnny B. The man though was Johnny B. Rowland. J.B. Rowland,
J.B.
he lived
Rowland?
up where the Undertaker is.
Uh-huh.
And he owned the buildings over there, and he used to sell farm machinery.
Uh-huh.
And all these big tractors and everything in those buildings up there. Yeah.
Remember the Stout Lumber Yard?
Yeah, that's sorry.
Stout Lumber Yard and Bennett and Clayton
Mm-hmm.
feeds and feed for the animals.
And the bridge was different, you know that, I'm sure.
Oh, yes, yes.
And do you remember the big fire they had at Mechanics Hall? Cause
Yeah,
see,
we were here.
He was here. He would remember that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Can you tell us anything about that fire? Or that was one of the bigger fires, I guess, in town.
The only thing I remember about that is that I think it had a pretty good start, and they had this propane gas tanks in the back of it. You remember that when that fire got burned?
Then they had Momi, building a plane there, up in those buildings. They built it and they took it up at Raymond Anderson's farm and flew it.
Now he's talking about the fire right over here in the hall.
Who
Oh,
lived
yeah.
there then?
Yeah,
Hmm?
Did someone live there?
yeah.
Who lived there?
A man and two daughters. I don't know, they lived in the basement. And I don't know if it got on fire somehow, burned down, all burned down. They used to have it upstairs. Well, you wouldn't remember.
What year was that?
I don't recall. I know we were here though.
I graduated from there.
Did you? Oh yeah, they used to take the kids up there. Yeah.
Oh, I graduated there too.
Grammar school. All the grammar school
Oh,
graduations were there.
And then upstairs they had
A meeting room.
Elks, it wasn't, no,
Yeah.
it wasn't the Elks.
The mechanics
Mechanics
hall was a lodge, right?
They had the upstairs and then they had the hall. The nice thing was that floor in the hall.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
it was,
I don't think you mentioned that. Did you go to Dayton School? Did you go to the Friday night dances?
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Sure.
that's
Dayton
right.
and Dean's. One time they have it in Dayton, next time they have it in Dean.
Yeah, Dayton dances were very popular.
Well, it's a beautiful wood floor there still.
Oh, yeah?
Mhm. I don't know what condition it's in now, but that was supposed to be, people used to come from all over to go to those dances.
Oh, yeah, they used to have pretty big sized bands, or local band. I know a guy that, they used to play in. They used to have a Ray Lundell, orchestra, and they used to have a singer by the name of Bill Buffin. And,
Yeah, but that wasn't here, that was at Hightstown.
was it? I don't know. I thought it was here.
Well, that's where you had to go after they stopped those dances, right? You had to
Yeah.
go to Hightstown.
Hightstown.
So anyway, Bill Buffin became a big radio orchestra. Glenn Garr, he was called then.
I've heard that name.
Yeah, well, his name was Bill Buffin. I worked with him on the railroad.
Then we all used to go to the Rocky Hill carnivals,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that
Oh,
was a big
yeah.
thing.
church
Oh.
carnivals,
Yeah.
before the war.
Yeah.
Kind of
They
also,
Oh,
had
yeah.
dancing at the carnivals, they used to have a
right, dance floor.
orchestra and a big platform.
Ernie Cricket,
Yeah, he was the one who rocked.
Oh, yeah,
rocked
Ernie
he
it.
was the
Cricket.
orchestra.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't often they'd take me.
Oh.
Did you go to Princeton High School?
No.
No?
And you know, I know what year they went to Jamesburg High School, because Sterl and George went to Princeton. My sister Betty, in 1940, she was the first class, she and Kip Emmons and a couple other kids from around here, they went to Jamesburg High. That was
Oh.
1940. So South Brunswick evidently was the ascending district starting in 1940.
When Alice went to high school, she went to high school in Princeton on Nassau Street.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
First year, yeah. And then
Where
we
was
went
that?
Then they, oh gosh,
You know where Cox's
28.
store is?
Sure.
Across the street.
Okay, okay.
That was after they built the new high school down there. They used that one on Nassau Street for elementary school. Now I think it's owned by the university.
Probably is.
Mm.
yeah, I went there one year, and then we went to a new high school they just built.
Yes, my two brothers went there.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
Do you remember, I don't know whether you would remember, Jack, when he used to play football up where the Monmouth Junction School is now, they played on Sundays?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I was never allowed to go to them.
No?
My brother was not supposed to be playing.
Who's Sterl?
Yes.
I think your father played there on them too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Tony's Bar was quite a place for the young people because they used to play pool there and a place to go.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
my brothers drove him crazy.
His uncle got me on the railroad, Nick.
Oh, did he?
That's the way it was in those days.
Oh yeah.
You needed a job, you knew where to go.
Well, he's yeah, jobs are pretty scarce. And when they asked me if I had any relatives that was on the railroad, I told them yes. I told them it was my grandfather. Now the reason why I told them that is the Pennsylvania Railroad owned the canal.
Okay.
So he worked for the Pennsylvania Railroad, it was on the canal.
Canal's like
So
that.
Pennsylvania Railroad owned
Owned the, yeah.
that canal.
Sure, he had a regular pass on the railroad.
So in anywhere where that canal went, the railroad owned it, or
Yeah.
just-
They owned, I don't know how much ground they owned past the canal, but I know they had a Kingston Railroad station. You have, let's see, who was the ticket office there?
It only went to Rocky Hill.
Yeah, Riccadone,
okay.
Mildred. Mildred was an agent there when Ritter, I think, was in charge.
Ritter was here.
Yeah, but he was in charge of Kingston too. I
Was he?
think. Yeah.
Was he the only ticket agent there was he the first ticket agent?
No, there was a guy by the name of Henry Height that was a ticket agent there long before him, when I was a little kid. Then Ernie Michon He was a ticket agent there too.
Okay, right, that I remember now.
Remember that?
Now that you, right, now that was before Ritter.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember, the old Princeton, the Kingston branch, it started off in Rocky Hill and came to Monmouth Junction and turned and went back to Rocky Hill. Then I think in the afternoon or not, something, it went from Rocky Hill to Jersey City. Because I remember meeting the trains because they brought the newspapers in at 6 o'clock or so to Kingston, and they used to go back to Rocky Hill. So it was around. I knew the guys that worked on the railroad. They were a lot ahead of me, but I knew. I knew the engineer. His name was Joe Stonecker, and I knew the conductor was.
Mr. McDowell worked down the station here too.
Who?
And, McDowell's lived down there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he and Mr. Ritter ran the station.
Oh, I don't know.
They had what they called a Y here, right, where they used to turn the engines.
Right.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's something I bet people don't even know about. How they had a Y, a track made a Y, and they could actually turn the trains around and go back the other way.
Yeah.
They're
No,
thinking about bringing that back. Did you read that in the
Yes.
paper?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I was a conductor on that train lots of times. Not the old Princeton branch, the Kingston branch, but I worked with the guys like Joe Stonecker. He was the engineer, and of course he was still the engineer when I came on the railroad, but not there.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, the old guy from Rocky Hill. Anyway, he was the conductor. I forget his name now.
Would you know any of the, this Stonecker, would you know any of his brothers and sisters?
I knew his son,
You don't know any of
Joe
his brothers?
Stonecker's son.
Because my grandmother Brabson was a Stonecker,
Was she?
yes.
Oh yeah.
Were there other Stoneckers that worked
Yeah,
there?
there were other Stoneckers. I don't know if they worked on the railroad or not, though. I knew them from Princeton.
And where did they live?
Let's say one Stonecker lived, let's see, where did Joe Stonecker live? I think one of them lived in Charlton Street, I'm not sure.
In Princeton?
Yeah. A long time ago. Then there was a young Joe I went to school with. You went to school with him. Joe Stonecker? You don't remember him?
Yeah, they lived on our street, on Charlton Street.
Yeah.
Now, is that where you two met?
No.
No.
I don't know where we really met.
High
in the
school?
beginning. No.
She was 4 years ahead of me in high school. She graduated when 16.
I'm older than he is.
That's all right. You wouldn't have told that, right?
Oh.
Well, Jack, it's been very interesting.
I hope so.
The
Oh,
other
yeah.
day,
Well, you see, what makes it easier is because I'm talking to somebody that knows about the place. Now, if it was two other people, I wouldn't even talk, because they wouldn't know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Well, that's why we're doing it, because it is history, and just what you told us about the canal was